Hey. Thank you very much. Hey, bring it up top. High five. How about a round of applause for our sales executives? Yeah. Who is a current client of Stewart Title? I'm just curious. Show of hands. Who has not yet engaged with Stewart Title to be a client? Okay. Huh?
Not in a bunch of years.
Not in a bunch of years. Well, you're here today. So that's good. Listen, I wanted to just start off by saying thank you for making time from your busy day. I know you're very busy. You've got a lot on your plate. So we don't take that lightly. And the reason why we host a class like this is because we want to demonstrate for you or to you how we value your business, how we value the partnership here. So our goal is to be more than just a vendor. We want to be a true partner and a peer of yours. So here's what I know about Stewart Title and why I've decided to be here today on their behalf is because they believe in helping you solve problems in order to earn your business. And the problems that many of us have today, how do we better market? How do we understand the tools today? How do we get more clients? How do we rise above the noise and get attention and things like that? And so that's why I'm here on behalf of Stewart today. And so I'm thrilled. If you haven't had yet the chance to engage with the two sales executives, please contact them afterwards. You're also, by checking in here, has anybody not used the QR code yet? This is how you're going to check in. If you want some of the freebies and the cool stuff we have to send you, this is how you're going to get it. Okay? And if you're having a problem with the QR code, let me know, because I do have a physical sign-in sheet here. We still, kind of do, what is this, 1990, 2000? Now it's 2023, so we can use QR codes for all this kind of stuff. Okay, so before we get started, I figured let's do this. Let's break the ice. Let's get to know each other a little bit. How many people have been in real estate for 3 years or less? Show of hands. Okay. How about 3 to 10 years? And then 10 years or more. Okay, great. Wow. Nice, diverse bunch of people. Thank you very much. And this is the time to test your real estate trivia. Yeah, that's right. There's going to be prizes. And the prize, I've got one prize here today, and that is a copy of my book. And if you want, I'll even sign it for you afterwards. But who would like to play the real estate trivia game to kick this off? Yes?
Yes.
All right. Wow, the energy is palpable in here. Unbelievable. Okay, so before we begin, I want to talk to you about the ground rules, right? So here's the ground rules. Number 1, do not shout out your answers. You raise your hand after the question is presented, right? Number 2 is the first hand raised and called on with the correct answer wins. Let's keep going. If the answer is incorrect, I'm sorry, everyone will go, aw, and then the next person will be chosen until answered correctly, if we get there, hopefully, right? And then only one answer per person for each question. And most importantly, what does it say?
Have fun.
Have fun. This side of the room is like really ready to have fun. How about this side over here? All right. So that's the goal, have fun, and trust me, these questions are pretty darn easy. So, question number 1. What is the number one reason stated across all buyers as the primary reason for purchasing their home? I'm going to give you 3 choices, just like, what's that game with the 3 X's they show? Family Feud?
No.
Y'all know what I'm talking, huh? You know what I'm talking about, where he shows the 3 with Steve Harvey?
Yeah.
Right? So here we go. Is it, number 1, closer to friends and family? Is it be closer to job? Or number 3, to own their own home? The first hand actually went up, you, sir, but then you didn't put it up again. Are you not going first anymore?
It's up to you.
Well, I wasn't finished with the questions first. So anyway, that's just an adherence to the rules. No worries. That's realtor speak. I'm going to go when I feel like going. That's okay, no problem. So yes, what would you say is the correct answer?
C.
You would say C is the correct answer. Desire to own their own home. Final answer?
Final answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is the correct answer? Desire to own a home of my own. Give her a round of applause. Woo! Please pass this book back to her and over to her.
Thank you.
I also want you to notice the breakdown by ages. The desire to own their own home was 22% of all buyers. That's why they decided to buy. Okay? And then you can see it break down by age category for the younger next-gen millennials. Almost 50% of them just said, I want to own my own home. Okay? And then, of course, that changed a little bit for the 33 to 42. That's question number 1. Who's ready for question number 2? Yes? Yes? Again, what is wrong? Does anybody have a broken arm over on this side of the room? What is going on? Who's ready for question number 2?
Yes.
All right. Let's go. Timing of purchase. What is the primary reason for the timing of a home purchase? Is it, number one, it was just the right time, we're just ready to buy. We felt like we were ready to buy. Is it number two, had to purchase, had a life change situation? Or is it number three, I didn't finish the questions yet. Is it number three, interest rates, financing options made it affordable, now you can go up. And so, all right, my man Eric, go ahead. A, it was the right time to buy. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see. A, it was just the right time to buy. You already have a book from me, I think, right? We'll get you something else. Round of applause for him. Correct answer. There you go. Was anybody surprised by those answers, by the way? Wow. See, sharp group, of course. Love it. So that was called the real estate trivia game. Was that fun? All right, so thank you for playing. This was called Break the Ice. Let's loosen up and have fun. Okay, let's get into the content. We're obviously here talking about ChatGPT. Jaden asked you guys earlier who's using it and all that kind of stuff, so we got a kind of mixed room. We're going to walk through what it is, some of the updates that have just happened recently, how to use it, and then I'm going to spend probably the most amount of time on use cases, a swipe file, right? Would that save you guys some time if we could just show you some swipe use cases for you to just take, steal, use? I mean, it's called, swipe and deploy is what it is.
You sent them though, right?
Pardon me?
You sending them to us too?
We're sending them to you. That's why you checked in on the QR code. We actually have a list of 90 days of prompts for you that are real estate specific that you will get as a follow-up to this class that you can take and use for your own business. Is that cool or cool?
Thank you.
All right. See, the side's waking up. Like it. Thank you. Okay. Do I even have to explain what GPT is? Everybody probably knows by now, right? This whole big technical description. Look, this is how I think of it, like this. Like Jarvis from Iron Man. Remember that movie? Yeah. Cool movie. He's in the suit. He asks Jarvis a question. What does Jarvis give him?
All the answers.
What was that?
All the answers.
All the answers. He gives them answers, right? And by the way, if he doesn't ask a question in a way Jarvis can understand it, he asks him to do what? Give him the question again in a way I can understand it. So my point by sharing that with you is we're going to talk about prompts because garbage in, garbage out, we've heard that before. Your answer or your results from GPT or Bard, for that matter, are only going to be as good as your input. And so that's why it's important to get better at prompts and what we do ask the platform. As a matter of fact, there's a whole new subset of jobs. I'm thinking about my kids. I got a 21-year-old engineering student, and now there's these jobs called prompt engineers. You guys heard of that? Prompt engineers that pay six figures. Wow. Okay?
350 average.
350 grand average, is that what you're saying?
Yep.
So, this is a serious thing. But I don't want you to overthink it or think, oh my gosh, this is, going to be rocket science. It's not when you understand really what it's looking for, okay? So, because you guys are familiar with GPT, I'm going to skip a bunch of content and get right to the meat. Obviously, this is probably the biggest thing tech-wise to come across our desk in our lifetimes, bigger than the internet, bigger than the personal computer. This is going to be pretty big. And how do you know? Well, because in 2 months' time, right, they gained 100 million users. That's a lot of people. How many people here have already been on the platform? Okay, great, cool. So we know Microsoft, if maybe you don't know, Microsoft invested $10 billion in ChatGPT, and now they're integrating the technology across the Microsoft Office suite of products. Some of you might be seeing that already, an integration to using those. Those will continue to roll out for more use cases. I think the key difference is we've got right now essentially two versions of ChatGPT, and one is, for simplicity, I'll call this GPT-3, which was trained on 175 billion language parameters, and the new GPT-4, also known as GPT Plus, that's out now, is trained on, who knows those zeros? What is that? 100 trillion. Who said that? Nice, sharp, 100 trillion. You must know your commission, your net gross, right, very, very well. Right? So the point is that's a lot of stuff. That's a lot of language, right? So GPT Plus, is anybody on the Plus version? Okay, do you know what Plus is? Or should I explain it for you? Want me to explain it? Okay. By the way, I just edited this last night, so is it okay if I reference some of my notes just to make sure we stay on track? So they recently released this version of GPT Plus, right? And it is a paid version, and it's $20 a month, and it includes access to all of this. See, there's the free version still here, which is this. And by the way, this is still limited to data, not able to connect to the internet, and only limited to data or inputs that go up to September 2021. I don't know if you guys have found that out when you played around with GPT. You ask it a question, it says, I don't have that information, I can't access the internet, or that's after the time of which I have information. Has anybody had that happen yet? Okay, well, continue to test it, and you will probably wind up, like if you asked for, what would be a modern thing to punch in right now? Give me, I don't know, today's stock price, right, for Apple on this version. It can't go to the internet and retrieve that, nor can it go beyond 2021. GPT-4 solves that problem. Right now, that's a privilege you pay for at $20 a month, okay? But it's actually pretty cool if you're going to get serious about using it. So GPT Plus. Okay. With GPT Plus comes what are called plugins. So they expanded their capability to include access to the internet, and I'm going to explain how they do that with plugins. But really how this is happening is they're accessing third-party knowledge sources and databases, including the internet, like I had said, which now opens up the functionality for it and to provide a lot more relevant, usable answers for us. Now, when you're in GPT, you may at the top of your screen see a couple of different options, but if you get to the settings section of ChatGPT, you're going to see a few of these different options. Only if you have the Plus version will you see this to be able to be enabled for you, which is web browsing and plugins. And I'm going to talk about that more as we go here, so stay with me. Okay? If, for some reason, you have the Plus version and you get this, that means you're put on a wait list. And that simply means that they are trying to control the rollout to the Plus version of this for reasons of scalability, performance, don't want the website to crash, right? All those different things. I think I had to fill this out maybe the first time, and it was a pretty short wait time. Just showing you this in case you see it so you're not freaked out. So what are plugins? Plugins are like apps on your phone. There's over 200 plugins and growing. And as I said, they extend the functionality, enhance the capabilities of ChatGPT. Think of it as like they are the eyes and ears of ChatGPT, giving it access to up-to-date information. And as you can see, the plugins cover a wide range of industries, including shopping, real estate, stocks, travel, food. And of course, there's more plugins being added and opened up all the time. Once again, you've got to be on the Plus version to get access to this for $20 a month. You may know that Bing is the dedicated search engine for GPT. So when you are accessing the internet using GPT, which you'll see in a moment, it is Bing that's powering that. Hence the $10 billion check from Microsoft to ChatGPT, right? Now, did you know that Zillow and Redfin both have a ChatGPT plugin? Anybody not know that? No. Anybody did know that? Okay, got a few people staying up on current events. Love it. Congratulations. I was testing this last night, and it's kind of interesting. Because what it does is it allows users to ask, basically ask about specific property listings or search for homes using criteria like location, bedroom, bath count, price range, etc. Now, I'm going to do a kind of a walkthrough of this, and what you're going to see is at the top is the prompt that I entered into ChatGPT. And I want you to think about this, how this differs from a person's normal search in some ways. So at the top, I'll read it for you. I'm moving to Austin, Texas for a new job. Show me a list of properties for sale that are 2-bedroom, 2-bath, backyard, 2-car garage, only the homes that are within a 20-minute drive to downtown Austin. Type that into GPT, and it gives me this immediate response. These, in bold, are hyperlinks to Redfin's website for that particular property listing. Same with the images as well. Any comments or thoughts about that? Feel free to share, because I've heard various things. You may be, I don't know, are you thinking how is that any different than going to Zillow or something and typing in the same thing, or going to Google?
It does it for you. Like it narrows it down to what you're looking for.
Narrows it down? So it's very specific? Does it shorten the search curve? So this, in this case, because only Zillow and Redfin, and this, by the way, you have to choose the plugin. Remember that plugins menu? Like if I go back to the plugins menu and I search real estate, it'll bring up the plugins that are real estate related. Now I know there's only Redfin and Zillow currently, but so I can type in Redfin or Zillow and it'll bring up both plugins. And then when I go into my ChatGPT, it's going to enable me to use up to 3 plugins at the same time. Okay? Here's Zillow's version of this. Let's watch this. I don't know if my audio is on, but you can watch it. They got a little music that plays along with it. Now, by the way, I'm gonna pause for a second because it's easy to miss the real difference here. And it took me a couple times to watch this. I want you to watch it and notice the conversational tone versus the direct, I'm looking for a property, this criteria, etc. Look at the first prompt that's entered. I got a new job and I'm looking to move to Phoenix. It's having a conversation like Jarvis. Iron Man. Right? And it's now suggesting, oh, here's some properties that you might be interested in. Now, whoa, those look nice, but some are a little expensive. Could you show me homes that are in the 475 range? Sure, here you go.
Is this sped up or is this really happening this fast?
That's how fast it happens. Thanks, I can't wait to see them. You're welcome, I'm glad I could help you. What? Well, doesn't matter with this, right? Yeah. Now, once again, of course, that's going to go over to Zillow's website, right? So what's your response to this? Let's talk about this for a second. How are you responding, or how do you think you should respond to this?
Well, how can we use that to our advantage?
How can you use that to your advantage? Yep. Good, we're thinking.
Consumers may think, why do we need a realtor when we can just...
Aha.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Right, that's what you're both saying. Is consumers may think, well, I don't even need a realtor. I can just say, hey, I'm moving to Phoenix. Looking for a home. Next thing you know, boom, you're on Zillow.
Well, for decades, they could always look for their own house. It's about closing it. It's about,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. I think the answer is I don't know yet, right? Because this is so brand new, and this is actually alpha version A. It's not even beta. Okay, there's still a ways of development to go with this. But here's the thing. Once again, I'll stress, the idea is to allow consumers to use conversational language and engage in a conversation with this chatbot. That's what it is. It's a chatbot. But I know what you guys are thinking, and you raise a good point in that because you still got to click over to Zillow or Redfin to get for the complete details. I think that's what that's addressing is the consumer journey. We're not necessarily going to be able to control the consumer journey, right? Because they're already going to Zillow, first of all, okay? So back to what was said over here is, this to me says that more than ever, your personal brand matters. Because they will use tools like this to get the information, and they'll go to that destination or whatever, but they're still going to always need a competent local realtor. I mean, you guys have seen the stats. The use 4 million homes sold, 87% of those people bought a home using a realtor. And that's gone up, not down, even with this technical disruption. When there's all this disruption, people need a competent professional even more. So, want to think about how you can start to, first of all, don't shy away from this, embrace it, right? That's the worst thing people did with the whole iBuyers as well. People shied away from it and poo-pooed on it and said, oh, iBuyers suck and all that stuff. Well, didn't stop consumers from checking it out. What they wanted was you to help them guide you. So I don't know where, I don't have the best answer to this yet. All I know is it's interesting. That's the word I have for it. And it's only the beginning. Which, by the way, means why we need to show up that much more on social media and in people's where the attention is, right? So they can look at this and go, click over to Zillow and go, or Redfin, but I know my guy on Instagram because I've been following his content. I'm going to call him, DM him. All right, so those are the dots I'm connecting. All right, let's keep going. GPT now has a mobile app as well. iOS, Apple only. Any Android users?
Oh, no, I used it. I got Apple.
You got it? All right, cool. Proud Android user.
Apple got enough money.
So does Google.
They got a lot of money.
Right. So this is pretty cool because what this will do will sync, like when you're using GPT on your desktop, your laptop, and you're now using the mobile app, it'll sync it so you can see everything you did on the desktop version also. And here, it'll show up on your desktop. So there'll be a record of those prompts that you played around with and tested on both devices. Okay? That's pretty cool. Heads up, beware. There are some charlatans out there that will try and represent themselves as the ChatGPT app. This just came out a few weeks ago. And people have been paying money for these GPT apps on the App Store for too long now, and it's not even the real OpenAI ChatGPT, which is the creator of ChatGPT. So make sure you see that it says the official app by OpenAI. This is free. You should not have to pay for a GPT app.
Is it?
Is it? Well, come on. Nothing's really free, is it?
Right, can't get past 21.
Well, with the paid version you can, but this is just the free version of it.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, fair enough, fair enough.
It ain't free.
Okay, how about Google's Bard? Anybody heard of Bard? B-A-R-D? Some yes, some no. So this is the competition for GPT. Bard is Google's version of ChatGPT. A little late to the game, but obviously they're Google, so don't count them out. This is the heated battleground for AI dominance. So here's a quick rundown of the features and some differences. It's bard.google.com, should you be interested. And this is the interface on a desktop version. They don't have a mobile app yet. So here you enter your prompt, just like GPT, and you've got some, your recent history, FAQs, and help and support. Now, what I did last night was I did a test on testing the outputs from the same prompt on the two different platforms. So here's my prompt up at the top. It says, give me the real estate market statistics for the city of Las Vegas for May 2023. And this is what it gave me. Here they are, median home price, homes sold, days on market, inventory, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A little bit of some context. The market is cooling off after a hot 2022, some opinion piece here, if you will. Now, what Bard does different than GPT is Bard gives you what's called drafts, 3 different versions of the output. And so you can click through to each of the 3 different versions, and you'll get a different output, basically. Generally with the same information, but it might be more specific, it might be more detailed or less, but it'll be written differently. Could be interesting. You could now have 3 different options you can cut and paste and use instead of only having one option. And the other thing you can do here is down at the bottom, you can click that Google It button, which will take you directly to Google, which will bring up search results related to your prompt for more data. And you can click this little button here, the arrow up button, which will allow you to import that directly to a Google Doc or open your Gmail. All right? So think about how you might be able to use this for email. And oh, by the way, could you just send this to your database right here? Time saver?
I like that.
100%. Yeah. Now, this was the exact, look at back here. Okay, I'm only showing you one of the 3 for sake of time, but this is the response from Bard. The exact same prompt I entered into ChatGPT, and that's the response it gave me. Bullet points, not really any commentary. And by the way, I'm not even looking yet to see if the data is accurate. I don't know if you guys have glanced and said, nope, that's not right, or whatever. Maybe it is accurate, maybe it isn't. But the point is you need to check for accuracy. Because sometimes these little babies can be wrong, right? Depending on what you put in. So does anyone have a preference or a thought on one versus the other?
I like the Google one. I like the Google one.
You like the Google one? Why?
Options.
Options? What do you mean options? 3 drafts?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I can pick.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you can blend them too.
Yeah. Copy paste is a friend.
Cut and paste as a friend, yeah. Somebody else? Which one?
Just like the way it's structured, it just seems
Easier to read?
easier to read, yeah.
More white space.
More white space? Yeah.
It's like,
Which is good.
yeah.
Plus, I like that option of Google it, so that, people always ask, well, where'd you get that information from?
Uh-huh.
Well, here you go.
Yeah, those are like citations.
Yeah.
You get to cite your work.
You get to cite your work. Very good. In APA format. Okay. Any other comments? This side of the room seems to have been... All the blood went to the
So
stomach.
what do you think about when you do ChatGPT, a lot of times I just ask it to refine
Yes.
the search.
Exactly.
Based on, I want it more informal, I want it
Right.
more
Change the tone.
conversational, I want it presented in a bullet point.
Right.
Or I want more whatever or less whatever.
Yep.
And just have them refine it, so it is a little bit more work with ChatGPT to get it in a circumstance based on, I haven't seen the drafts on Bard,
Right.
but.
True. Good point.
It might be kind of a time saver that you can look at the drafts just there.
I like that. Does everybody understand what she's saying? Right? You can ask GPT to rewrite it based on certain tones, or I want bullet points, or be whatever, be more specific, those types of things. Yep. So I think the takeaway between these two is, first of all, you can use both of them for free. So try them out and see which one you like better. That's the real game here, right? Test them out. And by the way, you might even wind up using both in your career, because you might like the output on GPT versus Bard based on one example, okay?
But see, would that information be available? Like you said, the 3 is like 20.
Yeah, no.
Would that information wouldn't be available?
With the free version of GPT, no.
No.
It would tell you, sorry.
Right.
Yep.
So you may need both.
You may. Now, that's one of the advantages of Bard, Google, connecting to the internet for free.
Right.
You know?
We might charge later.
Maybe. What's that?
B-A-R-D.
B-A-R-D, yep. So these are some similarities and differences. GPT, we got the 2 versions. Google got its just current version. Web versus app here for GPT. Pricing, free or $20 a month. Google's still free. Image generator, no, not yet, but image generation is definitely coming. The ability to generate images on both of these platforms. So think about how you can use that down the road. Social media images, Facebook ads, things like that. Social posts. That's all coming in a simpler way than it currently exists.
And they have some AI image generators out there now.
Oh yeah, Dolly and all that. They aren't the easiest to use though for most people currently. It requires a little bit of iteration and coaching it and all that kind of stuff, and it's a bit time consuming now. But I'm 100% certain that eventually it's just going to be boom, get the image you want. No problem. And then once again, as you said right here, limitation up to 2021 on the free version versus the paid version. So some things to evaluate. Now, was that a good kind of foundation of here's what the 2 differences are? Who wants to get into how you can actually use it in your business to save more time, make more money? Bunch of different things you guys can use. Some of you have been doing it already. I want to actually give you some examples. So what do we have here? This is, who's done a listing description already with GPT? Okay. All right, well, that's one of the obvious things you can do is help you write listing descriptions. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time showing you that because some of you have already done it. I'm going to give you an idea. Well, this is what I gave it, right here, property description. This is for anybody who hasn't seen it. I asked it to write a property description based on those parameters, and then, boom. I gave it all that kind of stuff. Here's the data, here's the square feet, here's the et cetera, pool, whatever. And then I hit play or enter, and then it starts producing it. And so how long did it used to take you to write a listing description? Right? Now we're talking 30 seconds, a minute, right? So that's pretty cool. I want to share with you guys a cool idea. When you get a listing, use a Google form, give your seller a link to the Google form, and ask them to enter all the things they like about their property. And then you cut and paste that and put it in your AI of choice. Huge time saver, using their words, not yours. Because you're going to have to ask them anyways, right? So why not just save some time? And by the way, who doesn't love to rave about their property, right? And you can tell them in the context of why I'm asking you to do this is because I want to be able to market the property and feature all the things you love about your property, because obviously other people are going to love those things too. So this is just a great way for me to capture the elements you really like about your property, your neighborhood, etc. Like that idea?
Yes.
Okay. Buyer consultations. Does anyone do those?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you need help outlining a buyer consultation? Because GPT wrote this for me in a minute or less. I'm not kidding you. Okay? I simply asked it to outline a buyer consultation for a first-time home buyer. Very specific. Boom. By the way, could you print that and put that as part of your prepackaged consultation? Yes.
Is it editable?
Well, as soon as you export it off of there, yeah.
That's why you put it in a Google document, yeah. Double check everything. Somebody's going before the court right now because they didn't, a lawyer was cute and got in trouble.
Oh, well, always verify. Always audit the content. Yes, always check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? How about open houses? Anybody do open houses here? Okay, cool. You ever do an open house preview just for the neighbors? Some people, yes. Okay, good. See, smart group. Those steward title people, man, love it. Believe me, I've been to places where I asked that and they're like, what? No, we don't do previews just for the neighbors. What are you talking about? Like, where you go to the neighbors and you're like, I'm having an open house just for you. Nosy neighbors, right. So what I did, you can't read it here, but what I did is I asked GPT to write me a brief letter introducing a neighborhood property. I gave it the specific description of the bed, bath, etc. And I said, I want to invite the neighbors to an exclusive open house Saturday, February 4th, 4 to 6 p.m., and with a call to action for more information. That's what I asked GPT to do, and this is what it gave me. And as soon as I hit enter, sorry for the delay here, I'm trying to highlight text thinking people can read it. As soon as I hit enter, boom, right? I'm going to have to work on making this easier to read on the screen. Hey neighbors, we'd like to extend an invitation to you for an exclusive open house preview of our neighborhood property, which with 4 bedrooms, 3 blah, 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 right, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Bottom line, it gets down to the end and says, join us, call to action, just like I asked it. So that could go on a flyer, that could go on an email, whatever, okay? Now, it doesn't stop there. You could continue to leverage that same piece of content you put on GPT. Another use case is social media. Anybody struggle with what to post? Come on, I said, does anybody struggle with what to post? I know you're lying now, because we all do, all right? So, content ideas. You were talking about a video script earlier. What was you were asking it to do?
Oh, just gave it a prompt and generated a script for me.
Yeah, what was the topic you were asking?
Oh, my goodness. I'd have to look, probably like best things to do in Las Vegas.
Okay,
And then
yeah.
I said to do it in the voice of Samuel L. Jackson.
Really?
Yes.
Love it. In the tone of Samuel L. Jackson? That's awesome. Yeah, so you can do that. I've done it with a rap song. I've done like a lot of fun stuff. So let's talk about social media posting. So here's an example. I asked it to create a prompt for an Instagram post. Now, what you do is you continue to layer on and leverage the platform to use the content you've already gotten from it. So that property we've got, that open house, that property description, you then ask it to take that property description and create an Instagram post. So you just keep going with the asks and keep getting additional outputs and include relevant hashtags and emojis. Well, all right, let's get that video playing. Let's see what that did right there. Same prompt right there. All I did was leverage off from where I left off. I didn't re-enter anything. And now I've got this Instagram post with hashtags, emojis, property details, right? Welcome to my house. Welcome to my... Stick with training, right? Anybody who thinks that's cool? Like I'm talking about saving major time. You know what I mean? Like you struggle with hours to come up with your posts and everything. You get a brand new listing. Oh, by the way, could this be part of your, when you're meeting with your new sellers and you're like doing your GPT or BARD pitch and how you're going to leverage that? Now, don't get in the thing, oh, well, they think I'm going to be like lazy. No, they're going to think that you're hip and modern and in touch. You know what I mean? Or they're going to be like, what the hell's ChatGPT? Right? Oh, or yeah, I've heard about that. What is it? Because it's funny. You step outside of this world of real estate and marketing, and there are people that like don't know what we're talking about. I asked one of my friends who's a chartered financial analyst, Columbia grad. You listen to Joe Rogan? He said, who? I'm like, you don't know who Joe Rogan is? Nope. Some people just, they're not in that space. And that's no judgment. It's just, believe it or not, right? And I'm not advocating or saying Joe Rogan's great. I'm just giving you an example, okay? Now, here we go. How about social media posts? Create 3 engaging, now it knows how to write the post. Create 3 engaging social media posts highlighting the top 5 benefits of living in Henderson, Nevada. Use your area, Summerlin, whatever, right? Okay, so here we go. You guys are getting the thing on how this works now, right? Put it in. Here we go. That's good feedback from you guys because I'm learning what I don't need to include in this, especially if you guys have already done this. But look at, and you might want to adjust this. It says award-winning schools. What? Some of them. Little asterisk. Thriving business hub, health and wellness, abundance of recreation. Look at that, man. 3 social media posts here in the exact time this video is running. With emojis. Okay? So, who's more excited than you came about using these tools?
I was already excited.
Yes, wait till you get to that list of 90 days of prompts we have for you. Okay? So again, we can keep going. YouTube keywords, all that kind of stuff. I asked it for YouTube keywords relevant for Las Vegas real estate. It gave me these keywords for YouTube, and it gave me a little coaching moment. And maybe we're going to incorporate these naturally in your voice titles, etc. Okay? Staging. Anybody do home staging? Okay? That could be a great post for you right there. A prompt for a video about home staging. I need a script that'll educate my audience. Okay, great. Let's play that sucker too. There it is. The ultimate guide to home staging, whatever it said. And it's, where is it? Yep, for a quick sale. Da, 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 da. So this is a video. Hey, welcome back everyone. Today's video, we're going to dive into the world of home staging and discover how it can help you sell. There you go. You got your opening hook. Anybody been to my Instagram Reels hooks class? First 3 seconds of your video. Brandon's been there too many times. Your first 3 seconds of your video are the most important part of your video. Okay? By the way, we've got that class, and should it go well, we'll have Stuart host that class, and we'll come back and you'll do your first 3 hooks with us. And we'll use ChatGPT to write them. Why not, right? Okay, so let's keep going. Anybody here write emails? Team communication. Do you assign tasks to an assistant? Anybody here do listing presentations? Okay? On and on and on in terms of the possibilities. Listing presentation. I had it write an outline for a professional listing presentation. Here's what it gave me. Introduction, property location, details, marketing analysis, marketing plan, overview, conclusion. Bam. Now you have an outline for a listing presentation. Now, most of you here have already logged in and used GPT, right? No. Some no. Okay, real quick then. This is how you use it. You go to openai.com. If you don't have an account yet, you sign up. If you have an account, you log in. We're talking about, obviously, the free version here. I don't know if the free version still sometimes crashes, but it used to crash pretty frequently a month or 2 ago. It may or may not now, but if it does, it'll tell you, sorry, server's down. Pay for it. No, just kidding. Right? And then this is the interface you're going to see, a little bit different than Google Bards right now, but again, the same thing. Down the bottom is where the prompt is, and you enter that. Okay? And then over here will be different things. You'll see a history of all the prompts you've entered before. You can save them, you can delete them, whatever. Okay? But you'll see that history of those there, so you won't, quote unquote, lose them. And of course, as I said earlier, the most important thing is writing effective prompts. I asked ChatGPT what are the best practices in writing effective prompts? Here's what it told me. Why not? Okay? Here's a pro tip. Use the act as hack. Act as a real estate agent. Act as a lawyer. Act as or you could say you are a real estate agent. Because remember, it's Jarvis, the digital assistant, like Iron Man. And so it needs to understand the context. It doesn't know who you are. It doesn't know the context of your situation unless you tell it. Case in point, Samuel Jackson, write it in the tone of engaging, friendly tone, right? Funny tone.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please.
Okay, before what you said ask GPT what prompts to ask for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what I mean by that is when you put a question into GPT or you give it a request, you ask it for something. That's called a prompt.
Right.
You're prompting it. And so there are best practices for submitting prompts. Keep it concise. I've seen this proper grammar thing, but it usually figures it out. Be more specific. The more specific you can be, the better. Okay? All right. This is a cheat sheet we have, which I'll send you. We actually have some copies of it right here. You guys can grab them on the way out. It didn't print out the way I wanted to, so we're also going to have a digital version of this that we send to you. They'll be here when you check out. But what this is this document right here, which will give you some ideas for tone of voice for different use cases like listing, brainstorm keywords, flyers, marketing remarks, ad copy, real scripts. This is marketing, refresh and rewrite your bio. Oh my gosh, is it time for that?
Yes.
See? Now you got this assistant, like rewrite my bio in a professional manner, demonstrate my expertise. You can even give it a perfect avatar. Like my avatar is a first-time home buyer, female, single mom, aged whatever. Be as specific as you can, and it's going to do a better job of adjusting for that. You can use it to target certain audiences in your sphere, newsletters, client events, ideas, handwritten note messages. There's all kinds of cool plugins that are going to be connecting to this where you want to just automate handwritten notes. Well, that's coming. Where you know how those you can send handwritten cards automatic, like send out cards and all that? Well, all that stuff is coming where you're going to be able to just connect that to some type of a Zapier or something like that and automate that. Search, and then more social, all kinds of different use cases. So you're going to get that too as well. Cool?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I said this earlier. You can prompt it as a rap song. Listen up, you need a real estate pickup. I'm here to make it happen. I'm your perfect fit. Yep, I got the skills, I got the knowledge, I got the drive. I get you a deal, make you feel alive. Yeah.
So, when you're accessing information so that you can print out, give to your clients,
Uh-huh.
are you still using the same copy and paste as a Word, or what's the export process?
For GPT, yeah, it's cut and paste and put it into Word. Mm-hmm. No export yet, like there is on Google. Yes.
I have a question for you. So I'm a lender in 50 states.
Okay.
We're dealing with this response on the other side because we're the most important of the real estate. So a lot of the buyers that I'm getting is like, I got this information, but what kind of programs can I qualify for?
Oh.
So I'm using this and I'm tagging into this, like you can do a first-time buyer, you can do this, it's a renovation, it's a this, or, so we're trying to, on the lender side, to go into that same buyer. So I'm getting the buyers first off of this too.
What do you mean? How are you getting them first?
We're getting them, like they're coming through here on the chat than this, and then they're coming to the lender side, like, okay, you like this, but what's your programs that are tied to this property? And then I said, okay, well, send me this, what are you looking at? And then I tag into this.
So are you saying they are coming to you? I'm still trying to understand connecting the dots.
Yeah, so they're getting some of this information when they go into like they're looking or searching for a property.
Like the Redfin example? Yeah.
Exactly, and then.
So they're clicking over to Redfin.
Right, exactly, or wherever Zillow or anything like that.
Yeah.
But then they get all this AI reply.
From Redfin or Zillow?
Yeah,
Oh, it's
from
like an
wherever,
automatic
yeah.
auto from them.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I mean,
So I'm wondering, so as the lender side of that, is this AI gonna ask the buyer, like, are they gonna ask them, are you qualified? Do you need help with this? Or, what's your financial situation?
I think that would be.
So look at this property because you have to get qualified first.
So I think, look, the whole goal right now of the Zillow and Redfin is drive them to the website. Because once they opt into that ecosystem, that's how they can continue to message them, get them to opt in, give me your email, right? That's how they're going to do that. So I think that's where the handoff is from GPT if they're using that plugin to get to Zillow or Redfin. And that's usually where it ends, because then they're going to go back to GPT and maybe ask more questions or search again for different types of. But I don't know. That's again, this is so new.
It is new.
So new.
They already have it for lenders. Like, you can literally get pre-qualified all AI.
Meaning they're going to run credit?
Yeah,
Morgan.
Morgan.
with SunWest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out. A couple other AI things you might want to look up. This one's called AdCreative.ai. This is conversion-focused images and social media posts, all images. And the idea here is they have a library of images that they allegedly have tested to serve you up the highest converting images for your posts or your ads. I personally haven't tested it out yet, but they seem to have a great, strong following and some awesome testimonials. But my job is to bring you, right, some ideas you can use. And if you want to stay on top of what's happening with AI, this is kind of like the encyclopedia or Wikipedia for AI. It's called Futurepedia, and it's updated hourly. And so you can search by different category: audio editing, copywriting, marketing, real estate, whatever. And it'll bring you all the latest new products and platforms that are rolling out. It's the largest AI tools directory. Okay? It is a robot behind the scenes. So remember, two most important things are your prompts and what you do with them. You need to audit the content and add your own voice. Do not let your own voice disappear, because people will be able to tell if something's generated from GPT or not, or from an AI in that matter. Now, I have seen Google Bard, and it does seem to be a little bit more conversational and more of a human tone to it. But again, you have your own tone, right? Which is an interesting thing. Don't have time to go into it here today, but I have a friend of mine who tested out GPT, and he took his transcripts from his videos and uploaded the transcripts into GPT, and then he started to train it on his voice and started to ask it to reproduce content in the voice of me that he gathered from those transcripts. So that's frightening. So it can begin to know your tone, your style. Do you make jokes or whatever, you know what I mean? Or are you very dry, cut and dry? And that's one way, that's a little bit of an advanced way to start to leverage these tools, like mind-blowing, okay? And then
Upload your own video.
it's transcript. Yeah, and then it'll read your transcript, and you'll say, now produce for me 3 articles, 3 posts, 3 whatever, in the tone of this transcript. Yeah.
There's actually a plugin for YouTube to ChatGPT that will download your transcripts, put it straight into ChatGPT.
Look at that. Do you know what it is called? A plugin for YouTube to download the transcripts right into GPT. Did you all hear that? So I would go to Google or ask GPT, right? What is the plugin to download my YouTube transcripts directly into GPT or Bard, perhaps, if that's even enabled yet? So again, this is so early stage. So many things are going to be coming. Get ready. Most importantly, where's the, who's got my book? What's the subtitle of the book? No, the subtitle. Go ahead and read it.
Wait a minute. How to survive and thrive the digital real estate shift.
How to survive and thrive the digital real estate shift. Is this an example of the digital shift?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the key to survivability. It's not the fittest who survive. It's the most adaptable. Those who can learn, pivot, and adjust new skills without bitching and moaning along the way.
Back in the day, they called it shift your paradigm, right?
Yes. Paradigm shift. Yes. Welcome to the new reality. All right. So, did you guys like this today?
Yes.
You want to thank Stuart Title for putting this on? Would you be open to coming to a future class if they hosted one?
Yes.
Okay, cool, because this is some of our classes. Eric's been to a number of classes. He's probably tired of hearing me and seeing me. But this is some of the content we currently have, and we're always evolving and adding new ones. You look up on here and you tell your Stuart Title sales executive which of these topics you want to most learn. I think I mentioned the Reels, Scripts, and Hooks, which isn't shown up here. But if you want to talk about that one, there's Reels for Real Estate. That's a little bit different, but we can actually sit down, bring Brandon in, by the way. That's one of the things we did, is that we came into a class like this. We showed you tons of examples of Reels, hooks, watching realtor videos, and we showed you exactly how to break down and write your first 3 hooks. And then, for those who wanted to, they scheduled time with Brandon to come back a week or 2 later, and he actually films and records your very first 3 Reels, hooks, and videos. Usually here or some other spot. This is actually a pretty cool room to do it, too. So, you get with your Stuart Title sales executive to learn more about that. Okay, so we are done. You guys are going to get an email. If you checked in on the QR code, that's how we're going to email you all the fun stuff. I'll be here for some questions if you want it. But hey, thanks for being here. Yes. You good? Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a good one.